Let me tell you about my buddy, he's 3,000 years old.
Welcome back to Channel 626. Today we're breaking down Phineas and Ferb Season 1, Episode 4A, Are You My Mummy? This one is chock full of Easter eggs, so let's get to it. Right off the bat, the episode's title could be a nod to the popular children's book, Are You My Mother? But the episode starts off with the family going to see a movie in an Egyptian-themed theater. The movie they see is presumably The Mummy, Two Tombs, but we also see posters for Bones of Doom. In the movie, they use the incantation, Owa Tagu Sayam. If you say those words quickly in succession, you say, oh what a goose I am. When Phineas and Ferb daydream about having their own mummy, we see Ferb reading a book called How to Stop Knitting. And this is the same mummy animation that's used in the title sequence where they say, we're fighting a mummy! They never actually fight this version of the mummy like they do in the title scene, but they do end up fighting the Candace version of the mummy later. We get a reference to the classic Lion King scene, and we see Phineas and Ferb's school for the first time. Perry escapes through a display for the movie Big Ape, referring to King Kong, which is the first of many movie-themed references we'll see throughout the episode. H&P's submarine has a button that says, don't dive. I'm not exactly sure what that would do. Phineas and Ferb find pith helmets, and Phineas says, say something pithy. A play on words. The top of the gumball machine rolls after them, paralleling the classic scene in Indiana Jones' Raiders of the Lost Ark. The boys avoid it by grabbing the pipe above them, but when Candace tries it, it doesn't help. In the elevator, we hear, I'm Lindana and I want to have fun. Which must be standard elevator music in Danville. Dr. Doofenshmirtz says,
Perry the Platypus, as usual, your timing is incredible. And by incredible, of course, I mean completely incredible!
And then he shares his plan.
You see, Perry the Platypus, I'm going to unleash the water being held by this dam into that huge drainage pipe that leads directly to the ocean. The additional water will raise the sea level by 2%, and then my property, 1 block from the shoreline, will become beachfront property!
Although he's actually successful in removing the dam later in the episode, the drainage pipe that he was planning to fill gets blocked by one of his bubbles of pure evil, forcing the water a different way. Dr. D draws over Perry's face, which is reminiscent of what the boys do to Candace in the title sequence. Phineas and Ferb jump behind a display for the movie Sharks, referencing the movie Jaws. This is the first of many parody movie promotional items we see in the storage room. Phineas and Ferb run away from the mummy on their hands while their feet are tied together, visually paralleling the cartoon Cat Dog, which Dan Povenmire, one of the show's co-creators, contributed on. Then Candace runs into a poster for Bust, the movie, which could be referring to either of the movies Speed or RV. We see a poster for Scratchy 5, most likely a horror movie. The boys hide behind a promo for Safari Man 2 in 2D, which could be a parody of how the third movie in some trilogies uses 3D in the name, like Spy Kids 3D. We then see a poster for Dinor, perhaps a nod to Disney's Dinosaur. There's also a Monkey Men 2 promo. This could be a reference to the character of Monkey Man in the show Hey Arnold, Monkey Man! Since Dan Povenmire also worked on that cartoon. Or it could be a parody of Planet of the Apes. And in the corner we see a cowboy playing a guitar, and he's a character from a movie that Phineas was watching in a previous episode.
Cause they colorized this movie on the train.
Next to the cowboy is a sign for Space Adventure 6. This is a series of in-universe sci-fi movies and TV shows. Space Adventure is calling you. And according to Phineas in the later episode, it's one of the biggest movie series of all time.
Actually, I'm dressed as Captain Lump Sharpfork from Space Adventure 14. They're the 2 biggest movie series of all time.
We also learn in that future episode that fans of Space Adventure are referred to as Speckies.
Speckies!
This makes it likely that Space Adventure is the in-universe equivalent to Star Trek, whose fans are referred to as Trekkies. We've also seen posters for Space Armada, which must be a competing sci-fi movie. The poster for SA3 has a character who looks like Saberman from Dragon Ball Z. And finally, there's a sign that says Keep Left, which is also the name of a band that Dan Povenmire plays in. And back to Phineas and Ferb, their chase with Candace mimics the classic chase scenes from Scooby-Doo, where they often get mixed up with the monster. Doof then repeats himself for emphasis.
It is working! This is functioning properly!
I repeat things for emphasis. Emphasis!
Phineas and Ferb then navigate their second booby trap, again referencing Indiana Jones, but this time the flood scene in Temple of Doom. Phineas says,
there you are, Perry.
And they get a souvenir picture taken as they drop down the stairs, just like Splash Mountain. Ferb says,
you know, mummies have their brains pulled out through their nose.
Phew, and that's it. It was a jam-packed episode. Let me know in the comments what you noticed while you watched it. The next episode we break down will be fan favorite flop stars. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And until then, remember, there's no platypus controlling you.
The platypus controlling me is underneath the table.